There is, of course, because we are in the top 4 now, there is no time for this round. It is untimed. However, I don't think Affinity will be playing long. Doesn't usually, so. Chris, starting things off here with a Blink Moth Nexus, a Springleaf Drum, and a Mox Opal. So nothing, no activation of Opal yet. It doesn't have enough mana. And no 0-drop creature to turn on the drum either. Or even a 1-mana creature. Well, that wouldn't have worked. Noble Hierarch is Kyle's first play off of a Marsh Flats that has fetched for him an Overgrown Tomb. Chris finds his 1-drop creature in the form of Signal Pest, which also turns on Mox Opal. There is a Cranial Plating. So we had the plating up earlier, but we'll have a look at it now because it is just a wonderful card. There it is. 2-mana artifact, +1/+0 for each artifact you control. Instant speed equipped, always interesting on that card. Doesn't always come up, but when it does, it can be pretty important. So an attack here from the Hierarch. Oh no, my apologies. That's not an attack. That would be foolish. This is actually casting Lingering Souls. Lingering Souls, great against Signal Pest. Signal Pest will pull up here. Oh, that is an ugly Signal Pest. Let's get rid of that one. There we go. No, that's not even a card. There we go. Signal Pest. The 1-mana 0/1 Battle Cry can't be blasted by creatures with flying or reach. So pseudo flying. But there is also an Etched Champion. So that is a great follow-up there for Chris to the Lingering Souls. This is going to be very hard for Kyle to deal with. The 2/2 with Metalcraft, that as long as you have Metalcraft, he has protection from all colors. Yes, those are actually tokens from Yu-Gi-Oh, I believe. So Chris finds his second land here. I don't think he had it last turn. It's Inkmoth Nexus. There's an Arcbound Ravager as well. This is gonna control rather quickly here. Yeah, Tailrick's got it right. That is what they are. So Arcbound Ravager is the follow-up. Chris has just all of the key artifacts here. Kyle does luckily have the Abupticate to deal with the Cranial Plating, so not too much. And it looks like that was in response to the Ravager as well, so he did not get to sacrifice to the Ravager. One of our moderators used to play Yu-Gi-Oh. He can confirm whether or not that's true or not. Blue GA Knights, Blue GA Knights, but I want to say like Beluga Knights, but I know it's not right. But that'd be an awesome animal, a beluga whale wearing armor. All right, so here comes one spirit in for the attack. I feel like that's just Kyle deciding, you know what? I'm not going down without a fight. You're not going to finish at 20 life, sir. Siege Rhino. It's Blue GA Knights. All right, or Blue GA Knights. Perfect. Perfect. There is the Rhino. The Bane of Standard for its time. Pretty good here as it does gain him life, but it doesn't do much about this Inkmoth Nexus. The Spirit can block, and he does still have the second half of Lingering Souls available to him in his graveyard, of course. But Yeah, so let's see here. This is an attack coming across. 3 of it is unblockable with the champion thanks to its Metalcraft. The Signal Pest does, of course, trigger Battle Cry, so that's a 3-2 on the Etch champion. The Signal Pest is blockable with the Spirit. However, if he does that, the Ink Moth Nexus is unblocked and potentially lethal with poison. I haven't counted yet. There's so right now it's 2, so it'd be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it wouldn't actually be lethal. No, I think it's 9. I think he's 1 short. But he can turn on Blink Moth Nexus and kill him with that. So I think Kyle is counting. I think he's deciding if he can leave the Ink Moth Nexus unblocked. I don't know if. Okay, yeah, he does smartly go ahead and he does correctly identify that the Ink Moth Nexus needs to be blocked. Chris will, in response, use the Blink Moth ability to power up the Ink Moth, as it is also a Blink Moth creature. So, a good heads-up play from Chris there to make sure the Ink Moth doesn't die, and he doesn't have to sacrifice anything to his Ravager to do it. So. So Kyle fetches up a swamp here. He does have access to Gavany Township now if he'd like. Whether that's something he's interested in doing at the moment, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it would do much if he does. But... okay, so... what's he got here? This could be the one main deck Dark Confidant he has. Again, I don't think it'd be that great here. The Spirit, this could also be just be Lingering Souls from the graveyard. Collective Brutality, okay. He looks to be choosing, with the way he played it there, looks to be choosing to do 2 damage to the Arcbound Ravager. So he's going to force Chris to act now if he wants to save this Ravager, which you would assume he'd want to. So I can't see you just wanting this to die. Or possibly not. I mean, he might have changed his mind there. Okay, so it looks like he actually targeted Signal Pest instead, which Chris responded to by sacrificing to the Ravager. Siege Rhino comes in across for 4. 5 thanks to the Hierarch. Chris says, yeah, I'll just take it. I'm at 8. So no concern there. He's just looking to close this game out as fast as he can at this point, because Kyle is now rounding that corner. The Spirits are doing a lot of work against the Inkmoth Nexus. They're just great blockers. Something like a Cranial Plating could probably put this game away. Okay, so Vault Scourge, that one's not as exciting. I would say 1/1 with lifelink and flying. But a second Etched Champion accompanies the board now. So I imagine we'll see an attack here for 2 with the non-summonistic Etched Champion. I don't think Chris can afford to hold back, but he decides that that's his best option. I think he needs to attack and be on the aggressive here. Sure, I guess he can double block the Siege Rhino and take 0, but it won't kill the Rhino unless he wants to sacrifice the Ravager to do so. So Kyle just figuring out what he can afford to attack with here. Not too sure on what's in Kyle's hand, so don't know if he has Don't know if he has anything interaction-wise that he can work with here. I think I'm being told right now what's in his hand here, possibly. Yeah. He has the Gavany available to himself, and if Chris doesn't block properly, it could just be game over. But I feel like the reason that Chris left back both of these S champions and didn't attack with the 1 was to double block this Rhino to take 0 damage. Send you goat tokens, Telric? I mean, we have goat tokens, I'm sure. Probably lots of them. So Gavany Township is tapped now because he drew a card off of Horizon Canopy. Okay. So he no longer has the option of attacking and hoping that Chris blocks him properly. Okay, sure. So he says, send the team. This is an attack for 7. Oh, you want those goats. I don't know if we still have those. We had a bunch at one point. Those are sheep. Those aren't goats. They're sheep. Oh, wait, maybe they are goats. I don't remember anymore. I haven't played. This looks to be blocking the Rhino, I think. So he just wants it dead. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I don't... Yeah, I guess that makes them goats. They're like puffballs. I forgot what the card that makes them was named, to be honest, so... Yeah, like if I'm Chris here, I think I just jam the champions in front of the Rhino. You can afford to take 3. Okay, so Chris is sacrificing... Okay, so we're going to set up the ordering of blocks correctly here just so we're sure what's happening and our judge can help confirm with the players what's going to occur here. So Kyle looks to be assigning damage to the Artbound Ravager first, then the Vault Scourge, then the 2 champions. Champions, of course, can take damage. That doesn't matter. So if he assigns the damage... Yeah, like he can save the Ravager if he really wants to. I think there's just a bit of confusion on how the blocks are being ordered here and what can actually be killed. The Ravager makes things obviously a little confusing, but... Okay, so he's ordering it so Vault Scourge is first. Okay, so yeah, he's going to do Vault Scourge first, then the Arcbound Ravager, then the champions. Okay, so he's sacrificing the Vault Scourge, sacrificing Mana Knight and Springleaf Drop, making the Ravager a 5/5. So the Ravager gets to live. Chris takes 3. The Rhino dies. Yeah, it's pretty important that Rhino dies here. So, okay, so I mean, Kyle's now in a spot that he wins next turn. Well, Chris has 3 lands that can block, I guess. Yeah, I think Chris was too defensive. If Kyle's at 11 here, this would be an attack for... I think Chris would have had lethal. I mean, he can... Let's see. 1, 2, 3... Could he have killed him there? Sacrifice all 4. That's 9. Yeah, I think actually Chris could have just won there. If he turns on all the nexuses, the Nexi with their own ability and their own mana, he can sacrifice them all to the Ravager along with the Mox Opal. That's 9 points on the Ravager. Sacrifice Ravager to itself, put it on one of the champions after blocks are declared as none. That's exactly 13, which should put it at 0. I mean, they lose obviously their Metalcraft, but he'd have to declare no blocks first. But okay, true. Kyle had 1 mana with the Noble Hierarch. Okay, he could lose to Path. Sure. Well, it does open him up to the Path to Exile, and that's what I was missing there. He obviously doesn't know what Kyle has in hand, so there is potential that he would just get blown up by a Path to Exile and just lose the game on the spot. Because, of course, the Metalcraft being gone. Because he has to go. He can't leave like just the Opal behind. It does. So this looks to be Chris sacrificing. Okay, he sacrificed Ravager to live on his ability. Okay, and then he blocked 2 spirits with the Blink Moths. So he takes 3, goes to 2. Does he... Okay. That plating's a little too late, unfortunately. But this is an attack for 9 still, so this should be... Well, Slaughter Pack can't hit artifacts either. Oh, okay, so... Okay, if Hierarch was tapped, then yeah, he could have had the win last turn. I'll be honest, I don't remember if Hierarch was tapped or not. If you're telling me it was, I'll believe you. Slaughter Pact is not an answer because it doesn't hit artifacts. It only hits non-black, non-artifact creatures. It has the Doomblade claw, or the Terror clause to it. But yeah, so there's game 1 going to Chris with the help of 2 Etched Champions. Looking at our sideboards here, we'll start on Chris's side of the field. Chris has 2 Spellskite, the Cage, 2 Thoughtseize, a Rest in Peace, 2 Ancient Grudge, 2 Wear Tear, a Gear per Earthgrade, 2 Whip Flare, and 2 Spell Pierce. So I like Spellskite. I like for sure to absorb all the removal spells that Kyle can play. Thoughtseize, maybe he can trip his hand, but I think that's too defensive. You want to be the aggressive deck for sure. Rest in Peace can fight a Goyf, but I don't think that matters. Also fights Lingering, which could be important. No, Ancient Grudge, Wear and Tear don't matter. Gare per Aether would go for a long game. Is it not? I thought it was just... Oh, I apologize. I thought it was non-artifact, non-black. I could be totally wrong, which I was probably likely. All right, I'm totally wrong. I apologize there. I apologize, Beluga Knights. That is my mistake. I should not correct you. Well, I mean, if I'm right, I should, but I wasn't. So you are right. Non-black. I did not read that card at all. So no excuses there for me. Kyle, on the other hand, gets to bring in. He's got 1 Liliana of the Veil, 1 Gideon Ally of Zendikar, 3 Fulminator Mage, 1 Surgical Extraction, 1 Thrun the Last Troll, 1 Nihil Spellbomb, 2 Stony Silence, a Grafdigger's Cage, a Spellskite, a Creeping Corrosion, a Zealous Persecution, and a Damnation. So for Kyle, a lot more clear what he's going to bring in here. He's got Stony Silences to bring in, Creeping Corrosion to bring in, Damnation to bring in. You could probably bring in Zealous Persecution as well. All right, if you're always right, then I don't have to worry about that, Beluga Knights. All right, so Kyle, I like his sideboard choices here. He does have a lot to deal with Chris's board. Something like a Creeping Corrosion will probably just end the game most of the time, if not every time. Really depends what Chris has in play when it hits. Kyle will get to play this game, which is important, as it does not give Affinity the quick start it wants necessarily in terms of going first. But if Chris does have a strong hand, an aggressive start, it could be a quick 2-0 here for Chris. Yeah, Spellskite is always a possibility. I mean, Chris, I think the only thing it can absorb, I mean, it can also absorb Galvanic Bombardments, I guess, or Galvanic Blasts. But I think Spellskite could stay at home and it wouldn't be a big problem. Yeah, and it still negates the modular, which is all it's looking for at that point. So we do have the result from our first, from our other semifinal table. Sebastian has defeated Coote 2-1. So the winner of this is going to play against Bant Nightfall. Unfortunately for those in chat who wanted to see it, we will not have any mono green in our finals here. It was not able to pull it out over the Nightfall deck. So we did see Chris play against Sebastian round 1 today. So that could be the final as well. All right, so Chris looking at his opening hand here. Chris deciding to mulligan here. Kyle has decided to keep. So Kyle will be on 7. Chris will be on 6 at least, or at most, I guess. Tilly, it was a mono green Genesis Wave deck. I'm actually curious. Do we? No, I don't have it anymore. Yeah, it's mono green Genesis Wave deck. No, not even aggro Bloodghasts. It's the combo version with like Crater Hoof, and it has a primal command lock with Eternal Witnesses. It was actually on camera earlier today. He was on camera last round? No, 2 rounds ago. So Chris has a turn 1 Signal Pest off of Inkmoth Nexus. Kyle has a fetch at end of turn to get a Godless Shrine. It looks like it's going to be tapped. I don't think he's going to have an answer for this right away. It looks like Chris has brought in his copies of Whip Flare. At our store here, Tilly, we have a few players that pretty much exclusively play mono green. They've been tuning their deck for years now, even tweaking and changing with every new set release. So they to include things like Nicol Bolas the Planeswalker. The newest one that the one guy has come up with also includes the Seaver Exarch and Kiki-Jiki. So pretty interesting. So here we have a Glimmer Void. This is facing a Tarmogoyf now. It's a 1/2 Tarmogoyf. There is Cranial Plating and a pass of the turn. So here, Liliana Last Hope comes down and takes care of that Signal Pest. And an attack for 3 came across on that Tarmogoyf thanks to Artifact Creature being the Signal Pest. Here we see Chris attack with a souped up Inkmoth Nexus. That's going to put him up to, I believe, 4 poison. So we get our poison counter back up here. Hold on. Let's get that back up. There we go. So if I'm not mistaken, Kyle is at 4 poison now. So Kyle's going to need an answer to that Inkmoth Nexus. Otherwise, it's going to be a short game here, possibly. Liliana ticks down. Stony Silence in the graveyard. That's not where you want it. And Abrupt Decay, which is the answer to the Cranial Plating. So that's a little unfortunate as well. So the Tarmogoyf is now instant enchantment land creature artifact. So that's a 5/6 Tarmogoyf now. Lingering Souls is not what he's playing here. That's a Fulminator Mage. There is the Fulminator Mage. Destroy target non-basic land when you sacrifice him. This will deal nicely with that Inkmoth Nexus. It'll take care of one of them, which Chris has to equip up first. Now, he can Whip Flare first, make Kyle choose which one he's killing, and then suit the other one up. He can't suit it up, though. He's short 1 mana. Which card is that, Shillith? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Okay, so there's the Whip Flare being cast. So Kyle is now going to have to choose which one he wants to kill. Yep, that's fine. Kills the Nexus. He can float the mana in response, and then he can turn the other one on. Yep, that's what he decides to do. Turns on the other Inkmoth Nexus and attacks for 1. Yep, that looks to be an attack for 1 Infect. So Kyle is now at 5 poison. Halfway home. I agree 100% to Blondie. I would probably minus this Liliana, get back that Fulminator Mage right away, and answer second Nexus, because that Nexus is threatening to kill you. If not next turn, the turn after. Stirring Wildwood is the land here for Kyle, so next turn it'll be an answer. He opts to go up and kill the Vault Scourge. That's interesting. He may have... I think he had Lingering Souls in hand, though. So if he does have that, he has this Nexus covered regardless. It doesn't add anything more to the Goyf. Goyf is still, I believe, a 5/6 creature, artifact, instant, enchantment, land. Yeah, so still a 5/6. So Chris does fall to 5, so he is dead to one more attack from this Tarmogoyf. And, I mean, How many artifacts does Kyle have, or does Chris have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So if Kyle has nothing for this Nexus, he is dead to the attack if Chris goes for it. But he has to have absolutely nothing. Oh yeah, Sorcery's there as well. So now that Goyf is a 6 power. I missed the Whip Flare. Here is Tarmogoyf. So if Chris goes for this, this could just be game if Kyle has nothing. A third Nexus comes down. Jeez. Volt Scourge. Okay, so this is more than lethal. If Chris wants to try it. Abrupt Decay deals with... I think you need to go for it now because next turn Kyle has a guaranteed answer to the Nexus in the form of that Stirring Wildwood. Chris does not go for it. Okay. I don't know if I like being that hesitant. I think you have to. Especially since these Goyfs will just kill you on their own. Okay, yeah, Chris just scoops it up. Okay. All right, so Kyle, in a close one, evens things back up here at one to piece. So we do have a game 3. DeBlondie, I'm not sure. I mean, I think he's in a spot where he has to. He's dead to one attack from a Tarmogoyf. I don't think he has a choice though, Chilth. He still has to just go for it. I think that was a misplay by Chris to not just go for the kill there. I mean, yeah, he's facing lethal no matter what he does, and if he's got removal, it's going to get him on the defense as well. So, I think Chris's right play there is for sure turn on Nexus suited up. Do you have it? Yes or no? All right, so one more game to determine who will meet Sebastian in the finals. Sebastian's going to have the play. He is our first seed, of course. So that's not going to change. Kyle shuffling. I think he might have gone back to his sideboard, made a couple more changes. I'm not entirely sure what, but I think he made a couple. Okay, presents, and we are shuffling. You're just cutting the opponent's decks, and we'll see what happens this game 3. And of note, Chris will have the play this game, so... if he has one of his aggressive starts, this could be a fast one if Kyle has no way to slow him down. Sebastian is on Bant Nightfall to Blondie. He went into our top 4 4-0-1, and he has not lost still. So this is not a fast start. Chris has a Darksteel Citadel and pass. So that's a little unfortunate. Kyle has a Windswept Teeth. Some sort of turn 1 play. Noble Hierarch. Okay. So he's going to get either Overgrown Tomb or Temple Garden is my guess here. No harm in shocking yourself now. Sebastian's been playing Nightfall for a while, yeah. So Chris's turn 2 play here is an Arcbound Ravager, which is it's a good turn 2 play, but this is very easily answered by Kyle. There's an Abrupt Decay, there's a Path. He's got multiple answers. Okay, so Swamp. So the Abrupt Decay is live. Okay. Starts it off with an attack for 1. So, Stony Silence, that's a pretty good follow-up, though. That's a better turn 2 play. There is the enchantment that really just puts the squeeze on Infinity. Chris fires back with Rest in Peace to fight Tarmogoyfs. I don't like that very much, though. I'm not sure if he's aware, but he's also just turned off his own Ravager when it dies. Well, that's not true, Talrek. I backed out a Tron. That has a sick name. Kyle sacrifices his Verdant Catacombs. Fetches out. I guess I actually just bought Tron lands again, didn't I? I guess I can't say I'm out of Tron forever. Gets another swamp. 2 basic swamps in his deck. Liliana, the Last Hope again. This is here. Yeah, one of those is much better than the other one, Hunter. You're absolutely correct. Ornithopter stands tall against Liliana. That'll show her. Chris does have Galvanic Blast, but he doesn't have a third artifact. He does now. Okay. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, it did get resolved for him properly, so that's fine. Yeah, I mean, once you have to start pointing blasts at their walkers and you're under a Stony Silence, the game's not going to work so well for you. Tron can be boring, I guess, sometimes, Shillith. But yeah. Kyle, Siege Rhino possibly, Kalidas possibly. Nope, Grimflayer and Tarmogoyf. Well, Tarmogoyf's at 0-1. Yeah, Tarmogoyf is a 0-1 here. Grimflayer is going to be a 2-2 permanently. Etch Champion. That's okay. He does have Metalcraft on. He does, thanks to that Darksteel Citadel. So this is a pro all colors Etch Champion. I can't see them ever unbanning artifact lands in Modern because that would just make Affinity insane again. I think I'd gladly sacrifice my Blink Moths or my Ink Moths to add in artifact lands to my Affinity deck. The hate cards would get better, sure, but those games where you don't draw the hate cards are really bad. So Thoughtseize is going to take away either a Ravager or a Cranial Plating, neither of which do anything. Kyle deciding what he wants to take here. Yeah, I mean, I guess you take plating. It's the more threatening one if that Stony Silence goes away, I guess. Cody, we're not going to mention how I play Affinity, okay? It's fine. So Kyle goes ahead and takes away the Arcbound Ravager. Kyle meant to Abrupt Decay the Rest in Peace before he cast that Thoughtseize. No, he meant to cast Abrupt Decay before he cast that Thoughtseize, and was a little too hasty with it, and yeah, he unfortunately did not get to use that. So yes, it does have one again. He got a little too hasty there. There it goes now. It looks like he Abrupt Decayed the Ornithopter. Okay, so the Etched Champion is now dead. Well, okay, so the Rest in Peace is still in play, is it not? So those cards are not in the graveyard. They're in exile. Okay, there we go. Okay, well, Kyle has total board control now. Thanks to this Grimflayer, I guess. That's about all he has. The Glyph doesn't do anything. Yeah, the Darksteel Citadel doesn't make any mana anymore. It's just it's a Darksteel relic. Doesn't do anything. Just sits there. It's a pretty tower. It's over on the on Chris's side of the bath. That's all it does now. It's basically making sure that Glimmervoid doesn't die, is what it's doing. Okay, so... Okay, so now he goes ahead and Abrupt Decays the Rest in Peace. Can I... Okay. Cody. That's enough of that. I will take your sword away, sir. I already gave out 2 more to Hunter and Jay, so I can take yours away. No, he's making fun. I will share with the chat. I was in a team trios with our mod here, Cody, CMGG, and another one of our mods actually, Jay, who's not here right now. I was playing Affinity. My opponent had an Anafenza in play, the one that Dan was playing earlier, the one that exiles creatures, and I sacrificed everything to go all in on my Inkmoth Nexus with a Ravager, and then realized that Modular needs to go to a graveyard to trigger. It did not, and we lost that round horribly. So, for anyone in chat that might be curious about why Cody keeps mentioning that, yes, I screwed up Affinity horribly. There's the cranial plating. Chris found the wear and tear, though, to take care of that Stony Silence. But Chris now has no hand. And these Tarmogoyfs are big. So is Grimflayer, I think, right? Sorcery, enchantment, land, instant. Yeah, it's a big Grimflayer. So this is an attack for, let's see, instant, enchantment, sorcery, land, creature. So 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Oh no, I am firmly aware of what modular does now, but yeah, yeah. So that looks to be the game, though. It looks like Kyle did manage to take it down here. So.